My name is Michael Steele. I'm an Associate Director at Thomson Gray Construction Consultants. I work between our Edinburgh, Melrose and Glasgow offices. I've been project surveyor and project managing surveyor on this from the quantity surveying side for about 4 years now. When we started here, we're now working on the 4th phase of works here, all part of one larger project. So initially, my role was to estimate the costs of the project, going through all the phases, which involved in considering when they were going to happen, because you have to adjust for time and inflation in the costs. And then those estimates that I came up with then went to the various funding bodies who the trust have applied to and have received funding from. And that gives them a bit of certainty on how much work they can do and how much it's going to cost them to do the works that they plan to do. When we're producing the bills of quantities, we have to consider on these old buildings the scope of the work that's going to be required. So there's kind of two parts to that. The architect will put on their drawings what they intend to happen. But over and above that, you have to be able to interpret those drawings and work out the bits that aren't on the drawings, because the architect won't be able to put every single thing on the drawing that you need to produce your bills quantities and to accurately estimate the works. So you have to come visit the site, thoroughly have a good look at what is existing, and then when you see on the drawing, for example, X bit of works needs to be done, you need to work out what needs to come off first, for example, and then what has to go back on in what order, and how to present that in a way that contractors can work out how much it's going to cost them to do. One of the methods we're using on this project to control the costs is a change control process, a formal change control process, where a change is identified. For example, this light's on the roof. We are going to replace the entire, all of the lights on the roof. What that does is establishes ahead of the works being undertaken the cost with the contractor. It also establishes what programme implications that may have on the project. We will get the contractor to state that. We will agree that between us and then put it to the employer, to the trust in this case, to make a decision on whether to go ahead with the works. They will be able to make an informed decision knowing the cost implications and the time implications. Monthly we will issue cost reports to the employer, which will track any instructed changes, but also any anticipated changes, anything that we can see is likely to come, be an additional cost to the project. And also on a monthly basis we will carry out interim valuations. So we will go on and assess how much work a contractor has done and make a recommendation to the architect for how much to certify for payment in that period. If you find early on that your project is running over budget, then you can do a value engineering exercise to find ways where you can maintain the usefulness and the aesthetics and everything of the building whilst reducing the cost, and that can be done by changing your material. On a historic building like this, where we're conserving the buildings, it really restricts the scope for changing materials. So yeah, in a way you're limited to this is what you have to put on and that's how much it costs, and that is the answer, and it's a restriction on what you can do on a historic building.